Well, people, the shutdown made progress last night. Yes, it made progress last night, and it pointed toward this. Isn't that something? 911. Do you see it? It pointed toward that, 9/11. Isn't that something? God do speak, y'all. He do speak. I just happened to look at this as I'm starting this video. Not only did the Senate pass and the vote was 60-40, but something else transpired overnight. And when I show you this here, you see it. When I show you this here, it is going to blow your mind. The whole day was scripted. The whole day was staged. The whole day an illusion was given. But yet, it has its markers at its points where there will have to be more votes in terms of health care the end of December, and then to fully fund the government sometime in January. It was a Band-Aid given to a person in the ICU. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have a major snowstorm here in the Midwest, but I am Franchise Pearson. Welcome to Franchise Blue. Again, November 10th, 2025. Happy Monday. Let's say it together. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. And may he cover us in his blood around the world. Somebody say hallelujah. Check this out, people. It's going to be mind-blowing. I'm warning you now. This video is going to be mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing.
D.C. as you're taking a live look there at the U.S. Capitol this morning. The Senate took the first step to end the government shutdown on Sunday after a group of moderate Democrats agreed to proceed without a guaranteed extension of health care subsidies, angering many in their caucus who say Americans want them to continue the fight. In a test vote that is the first in a series of required procedural maneuvers, the Senate voted 60-40 to move toward passing compromise legislation to fund the government and hold a later vote on extending Affordable Care Act tax credits that expire January 1st. Final passage could be several days away if Democrats object and delay the process.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
And that was the vote there last night. The agreement does not guarantee that health care subsidies will be extended, as Democrats have demanded for almost 6 weeks. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer of New York voted against moving ahead with the package, along with all but 8 of his Democratic colleagues. A group of 3 former governors, New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen, New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan, and Independent Senator Angus King of Maine, broke this 6-week stalemate on Sunday when they agreed to vote to advance 3 bipartisan annual spending bills and extend the rest of government funding until late January in exchange for a mid-December vote on extending the health care tax credits. The agreement also includes a reversal of the mass firings of federal workers by the Trump administration since the shutdown began on October 1st, and would ensure that federal workers receive back pay. Senate Majority Leader John Thune quickly endorsed the deal and called an immediate vote to begin the process of approving it as the shutdown continued to disrupt flights nationwide, threaten food assistance for millions of Americans, and leave federal workers without pay. In addition to Shaheen, King, and Hassan, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, home to tens of thousands of federal workers, also voted in favor of moving forward on the agreement. The moderates had expected a larger number of Democrats to vote with them, as 10 to 12 Democratic senators have been part of the negotiations. But in the end, only 5 Democrats switched their votes, the exact number that Republicans needed. The vote was temporarily delayed on Sunday evening as three conservatives who often criticize spending bills, Republican Senators Mike Lee of Utah, Rick Scott of Florida, and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, withheld their votes and huddled with Thune at the back of the chamber. They eventually voted yes after speaking to President Trump.
That made the difference. I covered it live last night, and I tell you, it was a wait. It was a wait. It was a wait. It was stuck at, I believe, 56 votes for like maybe 45 minutes. And then it was stuck at 59 votes for another maybe 40 minutes. And finally got it done. Finally got it done. Let me give you one more perspective, and we're going to hit this thing home, knock it out the park. Check it out.
As this week. So under this deal, the short-term House pass funding measure would actually be extended through January instead of that initial deadline of later in November to give more time to fully fund the government. It would also include longer full-year appropriations bills for certain departments, including the VA, military construction, the USDA, which of course pertains to SNAP benefits, and legislative, which pays congressional workers. And in return, Democrats did get assurances that the layoffs related to the shutdown would be reversed and that all federal workers would receive back pay. And they also got the promise of a vote on the Affordable Care Act, these health subsidies that we've been talking about, sometime in early December. But Democrats are divided over this compromise. The moderates who pushed for it are saying, this was the only deal on the table, whereas the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, he actually voted against it. He does not support it, and some calling this, complete surrender. Take a listen to the divide.
This healthcare crisis is so severe, so urgent, so devastating for families back home that I cannot in good faith support this CR.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues.
Now, let's go through it line by line. It's my understanding that between now and December, about 50 days, Republicans have to make a decision to extend Obamacare, and there's no guarantee. That's why the Democrats are still mad. Can you blame them? Trying to fight for the American people. Don't know if the premiums are going to go up. They don't know. So they got to make a vote. Also, the government is fully funded until January 30th. So now they got to vote on that, because between now and a year, the government is only funded 50%. That's a problem. People like TSA, the pilot, the air traffic controllers, they're going to get all their back pay. Also, people who were fired during the government shutdown will get their job back and get their back pay. So it was a lot. It was a lot. Now, here, this guy puts it in perspective, and I think he does a real good job as to why they did. Just because he put it in perspective doesn't mean I agree with it, but he sums it up pretty well. Listen.
A vote on extending the tax credits, it does not guarantee that it's going to happen. So how do you explain, though, to your constituents why it was worth it to put up this fight for so long when in the end you did not get your key demand?
Because it wasn't working. How long would it take to not get a response to say it isn't working? In other words, it's been 6 weeks. There's been the Republicans made it clear they weren't going to discuss the health care issue, the Affordable Care Act tax credits, until the shutdown was over. We tried to keep working that for 6 weeks. It didn't happen. The vote that we have is not a guarantee for sure. It's more of a guarantee. Here's the way I would put it. As I assessed it, there was zero chance of dealing with the ACA issue as long as the shutdown continued. Now, I don't know, 50-50, but there's a lot better chance now than there was this morning, because nothing was happening and there was no evidence that another week or another 2 weeks or Thanksgiving or Christmas was suddenly the Republicans were going to come to us and say, oh, we want to now talk about the ACA. If they weren't going to do it by now, what's going to change in the next 2 weeks that's going to make them do it? And that was really the assessment. I would say, right, as of this morning, there was a 0 chance of having a work on the ACA. Now there's a measurable chance. Will it be everything that everybody wanted? No, because we need 60 votes. And so there's going to be a negotiation. But Republicans have already started saying, well, here, if you did this or did that, maybe we can get there. So I would take a reasonable chance against no chance every day. And that's...
So what do you think? I think you summed it up well. But like I said in layman's terms, it's a Band-Aid, an intensive care unit. There is no guarantee Republicans will keep this health care spending and affordability in favor of Americans. It's a problem all day, people. It's a problem all day. It's a problem all day, and I don't like it. And to me, they basically got through Thanksgiving and Christmas. But yet the fight starts right back into December. And most healthcare people, big people, they're going to be nowhere to be found after probably the 18th of December, all the way through the first week of January. So we could be right back in the barn with this chaos again. I'm serious, because it's just too much. Let me go a little bit further. Now, I'm gonna pull out one of the shorts that I did. I had predicted it would happen last night, that the government shutdown would end. And I'm gonna show you how I came up with that. Watch this here. That on today, November 9th of 2025, Sunday, they worship the sun god Sol Invictus, the Romans. That's what they used to do. We're back in that era. Today should be the day that the government shutdown ends, November 9th. And I'm going to show you by the numbers, because this is how they speak. Now, historically, on May 16th of 1939, that's when the first SNAP check ever went out. May 16th, 1939. If you take May 16th, make it 2025, subtract it from October 1st, when they shut down the government, you get 421. What is 421? That's April 21st. What happened on April 21st? The Pope died. The 111th day of the year. The snake eye, 1. I'm not calling the Pope a snake. I'm just saying the 111. See the eye of a snake? The 1 is deep, y'all. We're back in the Garden of Eden. The snake. The 1 is in the eye. I want you to feel me on this. Now, let me show you something else. I'm gonna break the whole thing down to you. The next one, October 1st, that's when the government shutdown happened. Today is November 9th. There it is right there. October 1st, November 9th gives you 111, snake eyes. You think that's coincidence? Then you have November 29th, which is today, from December 22nd, 2018. What happened on December 22nd, 2018? That's when the last lockdown began. That's when the first government shutdown was, December 22nd, 2018. If it ends today, November 9th, 2025, you get 322 skull and bones. Not only do you get 322 skull and bones, 322 skull and bones, you also get Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan being thrown out of heaven as lightning. You also get 46. 46 is death. George Floyd, George Orwell, and JFK died at 46 years old. You get all that. What else we got? Chuck Schumer's birthday. They're negotiating this thing. Chuck Schumer's birthday, November 23rd. Take November 23rd, 2025 from December 22nd. What is December 22nd? December 22nd. On December 22nd, we have, that's when the shutdown hit. December 22nd anniversary, first shutdown, anniversary date, December 22nd, 2024. Subtracted from November 23rd, 2023, Chuck Schumer's birthday, you get 111, snake eyes. I hope you're getting it. It's deep. It's deep, y'all. Now let's get into this thing. You see this man, right? Right? Call him what? United States mayor back in the day? America's mayor? Okay. Now check this out. You see what Trump did overnight, right? While all this was going on, Trump was doing this. Okay, you see that? That's his birthday. May 28th, 1944. Take May 28th, 2025, birthday this year, versus the reported date, which is today, 11/10/2025. The difference is 514. What is 514? They're telling you stories through a story. May 14th, that's when Israel became a nation. I just want to educate you people, especially you new subscribers. Welcome. I teach the 5 C's of clues, codes, colors, the comprehensive time and conclusion. The powers tell stories through other stories. So through this man, they're showing you future stories. Okay? And what they're showing you is that when you take his birthday, subtracted from today, reported how Trump, let's just say, released him yesterday through paperwork legally. I can't really get too detailed, but you get 514. You get Israel's birthday, May 14th. That's when Israel became a nation. Then look at this here. Remember this date? Everybody remember that date? January, see that? That's when everything went down, right? He was there, right? I said he was there, right? Okay, so let's look at it. Take that date, subtracted from today, reported 11/10. The difference is 444. That's right. Barack Obama was born August 4th. So 4 and 4 is 8 and 4 remainder. Okay? Or just take the 44. Barack Obama is the 44th president. Is that coincidence? Because I believe he's the Antichrist. Now look, this guy is known for what? What is he known for? America's mayor. He's known for this. An anniversary 2025 just passed. 9/11, right? Now today reporting date is 11/10. What's the difference? August 4th, Barack Obama's birthday. Is that coincidence? They're telling you future. Now, he became the mayor January 1st, 1994. Giuliani did. January 1st, 2025, anniversary of being mayor. Subtracted from today, 11/10/2025, you get 313. What could 313 mean? Pope Francis became the Pope on March 13th. They're telling you future past. Pope Francis became the Pope on March 13th. They're telling you. And Rudy Giuliani was in a car accident. I did a video on that on August 30th. Giuliani was in a car accident. Remember that? August 30th. So take August 30th, 2025, from today's date, 11/10. The difference is 72 days. So 72 days ago, Giuliani was in a car accident. Now it's about to get crazy. The 72nd day of the year, people, is March 13th. March 13th. The same day the Pope became what? Became the Pope officially. You see how they do that? See how they put it together? August 30th minus today gives you 72. The 72nd day of the year is March 13th, the Pope. Because in the one world system, they're going to have a new religion, a new government, a new monetary system, along with the Antichrist. But Jesus is coming soon. Now look, this is when the Pope died. Rest in peace, right? April 21st is the 111th day of the year, 111. Remember I told you 111 is snake eyes? Watch this. This is mind-blowing. You will never forget this decode. Pope Francis died April 21st. Take April 21st, 2025, Francis died. 3/13 of 2013, Francis became the Pope. The difference is 4,422 days. 4422. Barack Obama is the 44th president. And remember the 22 in I Pet Goat, the V on his head? V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. V is like disaster. Anyway, it's 4422. The date Pope Francis became the Pope, from the day that the Pope died on 4/21, the difference is 4422. Boom. Marinate on that, baby. Trump was at this football game yesterday, and the Lions won 44-2. We know Barack Obama is the 44th president, and the 2-2, remember, I Pet Goat 2, and I Pet Goat 2, Barack Obama sweats a V, has the V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. When he sweats it, all of a sudden the American flag, look at it. It shrivels up and tears up, and it's midnight. And everything after that begins to do what? Crumble. Look. Everything begins to crumble. He knows disaster is coming. So let's go back over it again. The Pope died on 4/21. Take 4/21 from 3/13 and 3/13, the day that the Pope became the Pope, it gives you 4422. And that was the football score yesterday, 4422. And you got to check out my video to get the full detail. Go to Friendshot. Go to Friendshot Pearson or Friendshot Blue, and I did a video on it. There it is right there. Decoded Commander. Trump attends Commanders Lions football game. This will give you all the detail on how this football game, how the numbers came out, okay? It's mind-blowing. What a decode, right? 4422. Barack Obama, 44th president, and the 2-2 on his head in the form of a V. You think this football score is a coincidence? Come on, man. Now look at this here. We'll wrap it up. On July 26, 1788, that's when New York became part of the United States. July 26, New York. Remember, Giuliani's from New York, so is Trump. July 26. Take July 26, 2025, anniversary of New York. 11:10 reported today about Giuliani and reported today. The difference is 3:16. Like John 3:16, Christ sacrificed, something's about to be sacrificed, okay? It's also 108 days. What is 108? What is 108? We just celebrated JFK's 108th birthday. They're telling you the future. They're going to have another situation like this, okay? Donald J. Trump will be unalive. It will all be fake. They're doing it to create chaos. I put it together perfectly for you guys. If you like the video, please subscribe. Go to my site. Click on my portrait. I could use your help. Click on more. Go to the description. I have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. Also have a P.O. box. If you want to send a love offering, I appreciate it. And for the holiday, you can click on here, Amazon Books. Amazon Books, I have a beautiful book called Protect the Gift. About 64 poems. You can give the book away as a gift. Again, Amazon Books, Friendshot Pearson, and also Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. Thank you.